player. Who knows? Don't let your dreams be dreams, bro. As we kick it off, I'm not sure what the map pool is for this tournament, but apparently we're going to kick it off on Whirlwind. So you know what? I'll roll with it. Let's do this. To the bottom left-hand side, as we kick off the OG 6-star number 4 special Korean edition, a Red Terran player from OGaming. It's GuMiho. He is playing against the purple Zerg player to the bottom right-hand side of Whirlwind. It's Dark. So this tournament is a tournament played on the OG 6-star mod, which is basically just a 6-worker start in Legacy of the Void. The minerals are Legacy of the Void minerals, with some of them starting at 1500, some of them starting at 900. The rest of the game is completely normal. It's Legacy of the Void units, and all the rest of it. It's exactly normal. It's just straight up StarCraft 2, but you start with 6 workers like we did back in the day, pre-Legacy of the Void. And the advantage this gives you is that it does give you a bit more of a variety in the early game, and it does give you a bit more kind of build up and kind of space in between the early, mid game, and sometimes the late game as well also has a bit of an effect on it. What's really cool, I think, is that if you do get into that sort of mid game, it feels very much so like normal StarCraft 2, like we know and love right now. So even if you're kind of one of these people who really does, wants to watch the game to improve and get better and learn from, you can still learn so much from these games, because the only thing that does change is the early few minutes, and obviously some timings will change as well. But past that, it is very much so normal StarCraft. So the negative side to this opening and 6-worker start is that if players do just decide to play macro, it does change a lot. So it does change a lot, and it does create this scenario where you just sit and wait a lot, and you don't actually have anything to do because both players just play macro, and it just takes longer to get that sort of macro point. So it's sort of like pros and cons, and that's what we've learned over the last few events, is that there's definitely games that are really cool and exciting with this 6-worker start, and there's also games which are a little bit slower and a little bit more kind of laid back, which just lead us then still into the standard StarCraft 2 that we know and love right now. And obviously there's kind of positives and negatives to everything, which is the fact that, and that's the whole debate, I suppose, right? The debate is, do we go for, what is better, 6 workers or 12 workers? I mean, 6 workers does slow the game down, but it gives you a bit more variety early. It allows early game attacks to be more viable. 12 workers definitely propels you more so straight into that macro game and up towards free bases even, a lot of the time. As we said around here, mech with full bases. The bases on full though, they're still half bases, the 900 mineral patches. It's literally just a 6-worker start. What's up, Scott? How you doing? It's only 6 workers, so that's the only change, like really, the only thing that's changed. As we may see some mech here in the near future, of course. What's up, GenFX, hitting us up with the $10 resub for 5 months in a row as well. Can get some Wardy hearts up here in the chat. GenFX, hero of the stream yesterday with a big donation. Well, one of the heroes of the stream yesterday. And now hitting us up with that 5-month sub. Let's see some love in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the 5 months. Do appreciate it. Alright, so we're just going to be seeing this Reaper, a couple of Queens. Having a little bit of a look around to see what's happening. 2 Marines here to push that Overlord away. As we set up in the early stages. A starport will come down as well for GuMiho, as his factory will just jump on over to that reactor, and he is going to start with a little bit of a Hellion opening here, so nothing too crazy, super early on in the game, just an expansion, a Hellion based expand, very much so looking like a kind of old school TVZ from GuMiho, very modern TVZ as well, I suppose. I guess old school TVZ didn't see the starport coming down quite so much, I guess with kind of Hellion Banshee. There is one thing we see a lot of actually in the OG 6-star events in TVZ, Hellion Banshee, because players, the last time they played 6 workers, Hellion Banshee was all the rage, and it's sort of the build a lot of them fall back to. In this game right here, GuMiho, he's got quite a lot of gas to use. He hasn't done much with it just yet. He is going to start a medevac. We'll see where he goes from here. An armory as well. Alright, so hellbat attack from GuMiho early. Let's see what Dark can do to prepare against this. He's just taken a 433rd hatchery, which is about normal for this sort of 6-worker start playstyle. And as we see 2 Hellions just out the front poking around. And we have a few Marines out as well. Another one making. This is going to be a very powerful attack. And Dark, well, he's making the right kind of movements to get in position to deal with this, with the Bane Nest coming up, a couple more Lings on the way out. He's only on 4 Queens. I mean, 4 Queens is okay, but the more Queens the better generally against these attacks, as you can still see GuMiho just checking there's not going to be a Ling counter attack hitting him as he comes to kind of push across here. Doesn't want to have to turn around for anything, as we do have 5 Marines in this medevac, and they're going to start unloading. This Overlord going to start taking some damage, and it is going to be falling in the next couple of moments. Already an Overlord going down. Dark hits the supply block because of this, which means he can't actually get too much more on the way, as these Hellbats will start to morph. Now another Overlord going down as well, so Dark is going to be in a little bit of trouble here for a while. Still heavily supply blocked. There's going to be seen the first Queen's going to try and make a stand here, but they don't have much energy or anything. But here come the Hellbats with the Banes connecting. Still the Hellbats, I mean, a couple of them getting taken down, but there's still 3 of them at the front here. One gets pulled back as well to get some healing. Another couple of Banes connect, as these Queens will try and split up and minimize the damage they take. Gets rid of the Hellbats, which makes it a lot easier for these Zerglings now to come in and surround these Marines to get rid of them. Just need these Zerglings to come up, and obviously that is very difficult because of the fact that we have seen that supply block with Dark. They're taking just so long to get out here. Finally, they will arrive, and they will start to pick off some of these Marines, but GuMiho is in such a great position. He's really going to make the most of this, and without the Queens here, he cannot Dark force this medevac back. In fact, he's going to give up this position, as there's more Hellbats coming in as well, and GuMiho is still on the offensive right now, and Dark is really starting to take some major damage. Drones are pulling around the back to avoid the Hellbats, and this army is just unkillable right now. GuMiho, again, that supply block just slows Dark down so much, and it allows GuMiho to get into a very aggressive position with this, and this medevac just staying alive so long as well, because he was able to get rid of those initial Queens and get so much value out of the medevac. Always using healing, getting those Hellbats back up to health. The Marines as well helps him so much against so many of these Zerglings that were running in. And now this is going to be these Zerglings finally cleaning this up, but what a position Dark is in from here, as more Hellions are approaching the base. And well, I mean, this Hellbat has barely gone down, as these Hellions arrive and will just morph straight to Hellbats as well, and Dark is just not getting a break. Here comes an order turret from the Raven as well, but it doesn't even need to be thrown down. GuMiho will take our first game of the day here today, join number 2 of this best of 3, Dark and GuMiho head to head. Let's see who's going to take game number 2. To the bottom right hand side, our Red Terran player up 1-0 in the series from Psystorm Gaming. It is GuMiho. A Hellbat attack in the last game, doing very, very good damage here for GuMiho early. As to the bottom left hand side, Dark, our purple Zerg player, is down to the left and looking to see what he can get up to change things up and not die to the Hellbats this time around. I feel like Terran should just do the Free Reaper 6 Hellion opening. Zerg just dies because of the grenade. We actually saw a lot of with the kind of 6 worker starts in previous tournaments. A lot of the players were playing. A lot of the Terran players were playing multiple Reaper openings, not like 3 Rack Reaper or anything, but like 2 Reapers, 3 Reapers, and lots of harassment early, kind of focusing. So yeah. It's something we have seen a lot of. It actually feels like ages since we casted the OG6 start. We actually had number 1 and 2 and 3, what felt like sort of not quite back to back, but they were very kind of close to each other. And now number 4 it's been a good month or so. I think it's been a month and a little bit, maybe a month and a half. I have been away for quite some time, so I guess that's why it feels like it. We have a lot of fun in these events though. There's also always kind of great games going on and stuff like that. And we are going to be here with this tournament for the next 3 days. Today we have Group A. And of course tomorrow Group B, Beyond Innovation, Sue and Solar go head to head in a Terran and Zerg group. Which is going to be a lot of fun. Obviously the other players in Group A is going to be Zest and Stats. They play after this. And we also have on Saturday of course the playoffs, which is going to be a whole ton of fun as well. That will be live from Saturday, will be live from the same time, just with the playoffs, semi-finals and finals. I think maybe a 3rd place prize as well. I'm not sure. No, it's just semi-finals and finals on Saturday. It will be best of 5s and best of 7 though, which will be a lot of fun. So look forward to that. Great action coming out of this over the next few days. We do see this Reaper of GuMiho and start heading over to the left hand side of the map. And do let us know in the chat, of course, who you are cheering for, maybe in this group or just throughout the tournament in general. Are you looking for someone in particular from Group A to advance today? Are you a Dark or GuMiho fan? Or maybe you're waiting for that Zest and Stats matchup to start up. That's going to be our second match of the day in this dual elimination group as well, of course, where we do go through the initial matches, winners match, losers match, and then decide a match one after the other. Just going to see this Reaper initially, then he's going to do a little bit of damage, just poking and prodding, see what he can get up to. nothing too crazy just yet. You see a couple of queens on the way out. Link speed building as well, and 6 lings also on the way up. These couple of lings here from Dark are being quite the nuisance. Really looking to be just a little bit annoying, as this factory will be finishing very shortly. CC back at home, and we're once again looking fairly standard. This time though, just 1 gas, so we're not expecting that starport. We're very much so expecting the 3rd CC to come on down here, and GuMiho to really be building up his economy. Oh, he's going to go starport. Okay. Still only the 1 gas though, so I guess he'll go for just something less aggressive, like probably not the like Hellions and a medevac, but no armory this time around. Last game he did have a lot of kind of oversaturated gas if he was only going to go for like a starport and a medevac, so that's where the armory came into play. So the single gas, just a change up here from GuMiho. Let's see what exactly it leads him into, as we obviously from Dark see a pretty quick roach run on the way up. He's got a lot of gas banked, enough for 8 roaches, and as 8 roaches come out here, he'll be able to reinforce with Zerglings while pushing across the map to see what else he can do. 5 roaches on the way up. He's actually a little bit... no, he's got the lava. He's actually mineral starved right now. There's the 6 roaches on the way. So again, they'll move across the map. Any excess gas will morph them, allow them to morph into Ravagers. And these Lings actually going to loop around the back. These Hellions do just about see them though. And these Hellions are just going to be able to chase down these Zerglings. And the things though, they do end up getting in towards the natural as he sees the Marines, the Hellions. This could be just be the same build, and GuMiho might just realize he can do this off of 1 gas. Obviously, the builds are a little bit different with the fact that we are on the kind of 6 worker start. Things do play out a bit differently. So if GuMiho wants to go for a Hellbat attack, he can throw his armory down now and just do this off of 1 gas, I suppose. No armory just yet as the Hellions being left at home. The Marines going to start unloading and already looking to pick off a couple of Overlords. Dark though, well, as roaches are coming across, the first couple of Ravagers are morphing in. And they are pushing over to the right-hand side as we see that Overlord going down. Hellions here just going to try and roast away at a couple of those roaches and the Ravager at the front. And just going to see what they can do. Actually, GuMiho does decide to turn around with these Marines as well, which is probably the right decision, as he will get rid of one of the Ravagers with just the Hellions alone. Now the Zergling's going to run in as well. Do the Marines want to drop on the low ground, or are they going to pull up to the high ground? He is going to drop them down right here. SCVs pull in to try and repair these Hellions. A few of them going to help attacking the Roaches and Ravagers as well. One Roach to this left-hand side, very low. Another one over here goes down. A Ravager has fallen. It feels as though GuMiho just has enough to clean this up. And so far, Dark is not getting anywhere near enough done with this attack. It's a big commitment from him, being at only 19 drones right now. And as he's only at 19 drones, and this attack gets cleaned up, he definitely will be falling behind in the 2nd game of this series already. These 2 Roaches and the Hellions going to pull away over to the left side. Nice little micro on these Hellions, lifting up, dropping back down. Just doing something, just being a little bit of a nuisance here. GuMiho just showing off in a way, as we're going to be seeing that Roach does fall. And again, this Viking just up in the sky for GuMiho as well, just to help push back any further Overlords and just go and make Dark's life even more miserable, you know? What else is going to happen in this game for Dark? I mean, Pneumatized Carapace on the way up. He's still only on the 2 bases, 20 drones. He made another round of Zerglings, and just now he's really starting to drone up again. And I think GuMiho has the right idea in mind. Armory dropping down, and any sort of Hellbat attack in this sort of position of a game, it's just going to force units out of Dark at a point in the game where he really is needing to focus on not making units but building drones. This attack's kind of nice with these Zerglings. They get rid of one of the Hellions already. The rest of them having to micro somewhat desperately back towards the mineral line to minimize this damage taken. These Lings actually starting to do a little bit more. Another couple Hellions going down, and actually GuMiho, I mean, he's not quite going to run out of units to fight with though, is he? These Hellions are still microing, and even if these 2 go down, he has 2 new ones. And because of the drones at home, obviously, no further follow-up from Dark, although he is making some Roaches. Maybe he actually just wants a couple extra drones to work with, and now he's just going to go for the drop across the map with Queens and Roaches combined. He's only morphing 1 dropper load right now. Definitely a possibility, although he might have to be a little bit careful about these few Hellions which are moving through the center, because that, of course, could cause some issue here as well. Hellbats start to morph in, and we are going to be seeing them continue to push forwards. You can see the attack from Dark is going to be delayed. Then, of course, as you see, a Livery in the main base as well is actually going to get rid of a Queen, which has just popped out. So that's already big damage. These 2 Queens are loaded up as well, which means that, well, they're not injecting or anything. And Dark is just really running into an absolute nightmare right now. His aggression this game did not work out for him. And GuMiho now is just looking and see what he can do. Playing it so safely, checking the 3rd base, doesn't find anything. And so he might just look to turn back around towards the natural. I mean, behind this, a 3rd CC starts up for him in position. That's how confident he feels, although nice play by Dark to send a few units on the map just to try and slow that down, stop that from coming up, try and punish a little bit of the greed of his opponent here. Hellbat drop will be trying to do some damages. The Roaches actually do find an opportunity to get across the map. The Queen's coming over as well. Maybe seeing a Spore Crawler building to try and help out with this. The Roaches, a couple of them will have to be used to defend these Hellbats, but obviously with the medevac, these Hellbats are somewhat mobile, although GuMiho just have to micro them, and he just lose one here, unfortunately. Healing will continue as we see the Roaches and the Ravager. But there's a Banshee out as well, and with a Banshee here, the Roaches, well, they can't shoot up. I guess that's why the Queens are coming across the map. But even with the Queens, is it really going to be enough to kind of completely break this? Even if the Banshee goes down, there's so many units right now in general. A Ravager goes down almost instantly because the Queens are actually still a bit over to the left side. They're pushing back a Viking. Now there's double Banshee to deal with, and that's just going to make it even more difficult to really make your way through this. And even by the time these Banshees go down, we might just see the fact of the matter is that there's not going to be any Roaches left anymore. Transfusers will try and buy a little bit more time as the Roaches are being healed on up over and over again. Queens making use of their energy, but now come the SCVs. And considering that Darkback at home is on 7 workers with that Marine and Hellbat drop continuing, I don't feel he's going to get enough damage done here. The SCVs fight, and the SCVs will kill as Dark runs out of options on this side of the map, and runs out of options in this game altogether. GG, GuMiho takes game 2, and it's a clean 2-0 sweep.